All right, Kevin McCarthy back with us now, and after you're done streaming us on Fox Local,
right,
then you can go watch a movie.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so there's a new movie hitting Netflix on Friday called Lift. This is a brand new movie directed by F. Gary Gray, who's a phenomenal filmmaker. It's a heist thriller, but it stars Kevin Hart. So Kevin Hart's been making the rounds recently. I think we have some trailer for the movie. It's called Lift. And so basically, Kevin Hart and his producing partner, Brian Smiley, have been doing press recently as of yesterday. Brian Smiley and Kevin created a production company called Heartbeat. Really, you know, smart idea for a name. But what's happening a lot recently in the world of Kevin Hart is there's been some huge news in the world of comedy right now.
Yes,
Katt Williams, if you're not caught up on this, Katt Williams went on Shannon Sharpe's podcast and talked all about the industry, calling out a lot of people in the industry, specifically comedians, specifically Kevin Hart, with the insinuation that Kevin Hart is somehow a quote-unquote plant in the industry. And so what's interesting about this is whether or not you believe this or not. Do you fact-check this or not? Have you researched this? Do you really think Kevin Hart was a plant in the industry? And so for me, as somebody who's interviewed Kevin Hart for close to 10 years or even over 10 years, I've seen his grind. I've seen his hard work. And I'm not just saying that. I genuinely have seen it. You've seen it all on social media. No one promotes movies like Kevin Hart. So it's been an interesting thing to watch in the news recently. So I spoke to Kevin Hart yesterday, and I had to ask him all about these comments. Prior to this interview, Kevin was on NBA Unplugged, I think, a couple days ago, and told Kendrick Perkins a little quote about this particular story. But I haven't seen much in terms of response from Kevin Hart to the Katt Williams comments other than that, and other than a tweet that Kevin put out, which I referenced in our interview. So here's Kevin Hart talking all about the Katt Williams comments. Also, Kevin's getting the Mark Twain Prize in March here at the Kennedy Center. So he talks about that as well, which is an interesting aspect of this interview. Take a look. In my opinion, there's nobody on the planet who promotes films the way you do. There's something about your work ethic and the way you promote films, even to a point where you'll tweet out a response, like to the Katt Williams situation, while promoting your movie. Yes. A brilliant way to do it. You could have also responded with a Mark Twain link, because you're getting the Mark Twain Prize here in March. But I just wanted to get your perspective on that. I feel like you always respond positively to negative situations. And I wonder your perspective on that, and kind of, I know your grind. I've been interviewing for years, Kevin. I know you work really hard, but what's your perspective on that and your response to that situation?
I said it, and this sums it up well. Like, you don't entertain the circus, you watch it, right? And when a lion comes out and rides the bike, you don't think about it too hard. You just go, okay, that's crazy. The lion's riding the bike, and then you go home and enjoy the rest of your day. I don't feed into the stuff at all. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment to a certain degree. So you just hope that people can be smart enough and have a tremendous amount of logic to just go and possibly do research or fact check. And if they do, then great. If they don't, then kudos to that as well. I just don't have the time for it. There's too much going on. So to your point, while marketing and promoting a movie, I think the biggest priority for me is getting my fan base to understand how excited I am about the work that I put into this, because that's where my focus is getting eyeballs to the thing that took me about 4 months to shoot and even longer to develop and produce, and something I'm significantly proud of. And I owe it to my team at Heartbeat and to my fans to deliver the material in the best possible manner. So that's it for me. That's the focus. Anything else outside of those things, they don't really get an inklet of, I guess you'd say, what's the word?
Attention or
engagement. Attention,
yeah.
Yes.
Kev, we're talking to you from D.C. right now. You're going to be here in March receiving the Mark Twain Award, which is another indication of your hard work and your ethic and what you do. What does that mean to you from a D.C. perspective, to come to D.C. to get that award at the Kennedy Center? What does the Mark Twain Prize mean to you?
I mean, it's massive, I think it's something that will hit me more as we get closer to the date. But just to be a part of a list that has so much, prestige and legendary work behind it, it's mind-blowing, right? Like, you do work hard, and I don't do it to be celebrated or for the accolades, but if they do come, it's like, oh wow, that's cool. And this is one that I didn't expect, but I'm definitely honored to have. So I can't wait to share that moment with my family, my team, my friends, with everybody that's been a part of this journey, because it's not a Kevin win. I feel like it's a us win. And there's been a phenomenal amount of help and involvement from so many people around me that have helped me get to this point in my career. So I think it's something that we all highlight and celebrate together.
So in the interview, if you're just tuning in, Kevin Hart responding to the Katt Williams comments, which have gone so viral all over the internet recently. And also Kevin Hart's getting that Mark Twain Prize in March at the Kennedy Center. But I got to bring Joe Clair on this because Joe, obviously a comedian yourself. The Katt Williams comments about Kevin Hart were pretty harsh. They came down to this idea that Hollywood considered Kevin Hart to be a plant in the industry, and somehow the way I took it, and I said this morning, is that Katt Williams was kind of almost discrediting the hard work that Kevin's put in over the years. What's your perspective on this?
So my perspective is you're watching Kevin and Katt do what Kevin and Katt have been doing for the last 20 years. It's just now it's really broad because Katt came out. They have been doing this. These two, right now, if Katt called Kevin's phone, Kevin would say, "What's wrong with you? Why are you acting like that?"
Right.
If Kevin called Katt's phone, Katt might not pick it up the first time. Second time, he's going to pick it up and say, "What you want?" It's a for everybody outside, it looks like a very brutal back and forth. For all of us on the inside, we know that if these two guys were on the same show together, he'd be down at he'd go see him in his dressing room. Everything good? Yeah, I'm good. I know you shouldn't have said that. Well, I had to say what I say. Well, why'd you say it? And then it would be jokes amongst all the comedians, and then the fallout would come in the internet said blah, 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 blah.
You don't think Kevin Hart's a plant?
Nobody thinks. Katt don't even think Kevin Hart's a plant. Hear me out.
Okay.
Hear me out. Him saying that he believes Kevin is a plant, and here's my evidence, is Katt going on a rant.
Okay.
We've heard Katt's rants for how long?
Years.
And how many times have we heard what Katt had to say, realized it was his emotion talking? He has some factual stuff behind it, but come on, man. You watch this man grind right next to you, right beside you. And let's not forget that Katt is an ultimate salesman, promoter, and showman. And so he knows it's 10% show, 90% business.
I mean, look at what this has done for him.
Look at
he's everywhere.
Hold on, time out. Let's not look at what it's done for him. Look at what it's done. I'm going to go ahead and jump out there. Look at what it's done for black comedians. We're sitting here on my show. I've been on this show for a year and some change. This is the first time we had to talk about comedy. Because of what Katt said. Everybody's had to respond. There's Katt's tours through the roof, Kevin's tours through the roof. You had to bring up Katt to talk about Kevin's movie.
I know, and that was one of the things.
That's how everybody. Cedric he goes to the Golden Globes. He has to talk about
everybody,
Katt.
right? I mean, he talked about everybody.
He talked about everybody, and then it just made everybody's everything just get a nice pair of eyes. Everybody's eyes are now on everything. Cedric's done, Steve's done, Kevin's doing. What's Eddie Murphy up to?
You think that
What's going on with Kevin?
Orchestrated than rather him?
I think there's some animosity.
I would not say that it's orchestrated, but it's par for the course for Hollywood. True. Is what I'll say. And Katt is a wild card. So if it was orchestrated, I could see if he had a bunch of agents and managers and everything. Katt is this guy who's over here on the island by himself, and he could throw a stone anytime he feels like it. He knows what it's going to do. He's going to make money off of it because he's out here touring, he's touring, and then it's up to the other people to ride that wave or not.
Has anybody come out, because I know he took down Cedric the Entertainer, Kevin Hart, but has anybody come out to side with Katt?
A lot of people sign with Katt.
Does Katt have any? Does Katt have any proof of what he's saying?
There are tons of people who side with Katt, tons of people who do not side with Katt. He's made everybody take sides. However, everybody's still looking at right now.
They're all reaping the benefits.
Comedy clubs and comedy shows are sold out this weekend, next weekend, the following weekend. We are making money. January 27th, Bangin' and Bowie. Do not miss the show.
So this is affecting you.
It's affecting all of us.
Are you bringing Katt on the show?
Do you know how many times I've had to answer this is the 5th time somebody's come to me, "Hey, Joe, what you think?"
About this story.
About Katt, and he did this over a week ago.
Okay,
Brilliant.
But Katt's saying this, aside from what you're saying in terms of like the orchestration and kind of how it's put comedy on the map a little bit more recently, do you like the idea of another comedian taking another comedian down in a way?
We don't. I do not like the idea of that. However, I do like the idea of every now and again, somebody's got to shake the table.
Right.
And he shook the table to great effect.
You know what this reminds me of? And again, not the same thing, but when Kendrick Lamar did the verse
with everybody,
Big Sean,
where he dissed everybody. Right.
Right. So, like, for people who are not familiar with this, basically, like, Big Sean was releasing an album, and Kendrick dropped this verse on a song called Control, and he called out everybody in
every rapper, including Big Sean,
on his own album.
Whose song was on. He turned the game upside down, and nobody was like, Kendrick's horrible. Huh?
It's not a stunt, but like
I wouldn't say it's there's truth to it.
I wouldn't say it's a stunt. I would say it's part of doing business from Katt's perspective.
You know what's interesting? When the Kendrick dropped that verse, it was almost like he was like, I didn't consider it a diss. It was almost like, hey, everybody else, step your game up.
Yeah.
Because we need to get back to the point where we're all trying our hardest to get the best verses out there, and to diss somebody on their own track is insane. And I'm not saying that Kendrick and Katt are similar, but it does feel like what you're saying reminds me of that.
A lot of people reaping the benefit, and here, to your point, a week later, we're still talking about
January 27th. I'm at Bowie. I'm in Bowie.
Katt Williams.
We're taking a break.
Opening
Stay with us.
barely.